What's up, folks? What's going on? Guerrilla Radio episode 18. Thanks for watching. If you've been with us so far, I appreciate it. Don't forget to, if you have any questions on any of our videos, drop a line, drop a comment, a question, or whatever we can do to help you out. Just let us know. Put it in the comment section. We'll get to it. May take me a couple days. I don't always see it right away, but I promise we'll get to it. So thanks for watching. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel. You get updates every time you put something out. Okay? All right. What are we talking about today? So I had a question come in the other week, and I thought this was a great topic. So basically, they sent me an email, and they're like, hey, I'm looking at your gym, but I don't want to do the group CrossFit stuff, but I'm looking somewhere else to do personal training. And I think this happens a lot, right? People see this, because you're a CrossFit gym, or maybe you're some other type of group. The main focus they think is group training. What they may not realize is how much personal training you actually do. And in fact, 40% of what we do is personal training. Right? It's one-on-ones. Some of those people do group classes too. Some of them don't. Some just do exclusively personal training. And sometimes we program for them. They come in 2 times on their own, and I meet with them one time per week. So it depends, right? And it can be very customizable to the situation. So what I thought would be interesting is to talk about what a personal training session looks like, how we come up with the workouts, and all that kind of stuff. So let's begin with this basic idea, right? When someone comes in, the first thing we sit down with is a 30-minute no sweat intro. I want to know what your goals are, what you're trying to do, what your limitations might be, any health history or history of health issues, anything that's going on there. And from there, we schedule a first one-on-one. So what's going on in this first one-on-one? Every personal training session, we start off with what we call whiteboard time. Just like this, and I have a specific topic for the first several sessions. The philosophy and methodology of how we train, good nutrition versus bad nutrition, managing expectations, teaching the more complicated lifts with the PVC pipe, and it goes on from there. So that's 10 to 15 minutes at the whiteboard to say, here's what's going on, give you some context for what we're doing, explain the method to the madness. So we do a little bit of whiteboard time. Then we're going to do a basic warm-up. That'll be kind of general in nature. You might be running, rowing, biking, walking, jogging. We're just getting the heart rate up, getting the body temperature up, get the muscles moving. And then the first session, I have people we're going to do 3 movements. The air squat, the front squat, and the overhead squat. And depending on how we look in those, we might do some other testing. So what that does is basically our version of the functional movement screening. It is the most low-tech way for me to look at someone and see how they move and then prescribe treatment from there, right? I'm looking for knees crashing in, back rounding, shoulders crashing in. Can I even keep my chest upright, or can I even hold a PVC pipe over my head? Can I even do a pass-through with the PVC pipe over my head? Can I stand up against a wall, flat against a wall, and flatten my lower back or not? Maybe I have a gap in between the low back. That tells me I have no thoracic extension. So I run people through 5 or 6 movements, starting with the squats, and that gives me a great idea of what our movement limitations are. And then we can start prescribing what comes next in our focused mobility work. So whenever we see movement limitations, and I'm not talking about gross injury stuff, I'm talking about very small stuff, even for very fit people that come in who may have been training for quite some time, but they can't hold a PVC pipe overhead without doing this. So what we can look at is, where is that limitation coming from, and then how do we structure some mobility around that? So I'm always looking at mobility, stability, and then integration. That's kind of the 3 ways that we break this down. So I'm going to use lacrosse balls, foam rollers, bands, any other thing we have, some barbells, perhaps kettlebells, to break up some of that tissue to work on mobility and get more range of motion. We're then going to work into stabilizing that joint. Right? I have range of motion, great. Now let me stabilize that range of motion so I don't create any further injury. And then integration, that's then taking what we just did and putting it into an actual movement that you see in the gym. Okay? So we have that whiteboard time, we have that warm up, some of that functional exam stuff, then we're gonna have that mobility work, and then we got the workout of the day. And that is completely dependent upon what your needs are and what your goals are. So I try to join the 2. For some people, some of my older clients, 50, 60, 70 plus, we need to maintain strength and functionality. That's absolutely vital. Lack of strength would put people in nursing homes. When they can no longer stand up for themselves or wipe their own butts, they go to nursing homes. So that's vital for us, right? For other people, they might be training for 5Ks, might be training for long distance, mud runs and that kind of stuff. We might have a little bit more focused on endurance. Right, I have somebody who's working on a Tough Mudder now, and the last time they did one, or a Spartan race, last time they did one, they failed miserably at the grip portion when they were climbing ropes. So we have a whole grip complex that they're working on. So it's not as specific as this is what everything needs to be covered. It's what do you need to get done. But the format never changes. So that's what a typical personal training session would look like. And like I said, I have people that work with one-on-one, then they'll do a couple months of classes, then we work one-on-one again, and it's strategizing, coming up with a plan and fixing the problems that they have. All right? So keep that in mind. That's what we do. That's what a good personal training should look like. So even if you're vetting someone else, what should a personal training session include? Make sure that there's some screening going on. Make sure they're understanding how you're moving and what the problems are and the limitations are so they can fix those limitations. Because if all your litmus test is, was it hard? Then that's not really a litmus test. Anybody can put together a workout and make it very hard. We call it any asshole workout. I can write up a workout that would make you sweat and breathe very hard. It doesn't mean it was good for you. It doesn't mean we're progressing over time. And that should be the intent, progressing over time. I love it when I have my clients that have been with me 3, 4, 5 years that are still making PRs, that are still progressing injury-free, which is key, while getting results. All right? So keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Again, don't forget to subscribe. If you got any questions on personal training or some things maybe you should do, let me know, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. Take care.